What is going on, guys? My name is Lextasy. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new to this channel, if this is the first video you clicked on ever seeing my face, I welcome you with open arms because we are about to have a lot of fun. We're starting a new series on here mixed in with everything else that we got going on this channel, and I am about to spend a lot of money. Well, hopefully not a lot of money, and turn that little bit of money into a $200,000 Lamborghini. So without further ado, guys, let's get this video going. The crazy part is that I already purchased the car. I got the documents here. I have the Carfax here that I'm going to go over with you guys. I'm going to reveal it in this episode as well and tell you exactly why I bought it, how I bought it, and explain why we're even doing this series, because the whole point of this massive series that we're going to do is to show you that anybody can join Copart, join IAI auctions, get your login, get your membership, use a dealer's license that you can do through a broker, and purchase these cars and flip them for quite a bit of profit. For example, this is a 2017 Jeep Cherokee that I bought with a lot of damage in the front end. I'll be honest, that had blown out airbags and everything like that, and it's going to cost me about total of $8,000 with parts and labor. It's worth like $20,000 with a rebuilt title. There is ways to make money. This is another perfect example of a car we bought, and we actually did a few videos on this too, to be specific, because we fix stuff pretty quick on this channel. This is a 2013 Audi A4 that also had front end damage. We got that fixed now. I'm just doing a little bit of suspension work to lower it, make it look even nicer. This whole series is going to be about showing you how to buy a Copart or IAI auction car, how to fix that car, how to make the most profit on it, and how to resell it afterwards. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to start with, well, we were going to do like $2,000 car and flip it for $200,000 and work our way up, but this car actually only cost me $350. I legitimately sniped this thing because, well, hopefully for the most part I knew what I was doing and I made the right choice. And without dragging this along, we bought ourselves a 2009 Audi A4. Front wheel drive, but it has 180,000 miles. So yes, a lot of miles on this 2.0 turbo Audi, but I gotta say, the 15-page worth of Carfax that I found on this thing tells you that somebody took really good care of it. In fact, they were doing oil changes on this thing, not because of the mileage, but because of the dates. They literally were doing them every 6 months because of how long it was sitting. The last owner, and there's only 2 owners on this car, took complete care of it. In fact, it looks like he did a lot of just the recommended maintenances that you get offered a lot at the dealerships and service departments. Like, for example, he had the hood shocks replaced, the blower motor repaired or replaced, the hood adjusted. So literally had the small stuff done, but literally less than 1,000 miles ago, he also had major repairs done. For example, he had rear brake pads replaced, brake pads replaced in the front. He had the serpentine belt replaced as well. Water pump was replaced recently as well. I am telling you guys, we sniped a heck of a deal for $350. Out the door was like right at $590, so let's say 600 bucks. And tomorrow at 4 a.m. I am hooking up to my truck with my trailer, and we're gonna go get this bad boy, and I'm gonna show you the whole process of how it all goes down. Like I said, we're below 600 bucks for a car that, according to NADA, now this is with clean retail, and we do have a salvage title, or rebuilt title as they say, but clean retail on this car comes out to $4,300 to $5,900. So literally the value of it is between $4,000 and $6,000. With the salvage title, I'll put it closer to maybe $4,500, maybe $5,000, depending on the condition of it. But from what I've seen, I am super stoked because this car looks like it's in perfect condition. So you clicked on the video because, well, you want to learn how to buy a Copart car yourself, or IAI car also. So let's talk about it. That is what this whole series is going to be about. So the first step, obviously, go to Copart.com. That's what I mostly use. I've been using for 10 years. You sign up and make yourself a membership. It's free of charge. It doesn't cost anything. Unless you want to start bidding, then you can, and you have up to $1,000 limit, if I'm not mistaken, to be able to bid on the cheaper cars, like, for example, this one. You would be able to do it with just a small little security deposit. If you're looking at a more expensive car, like a $5,000 car, or we spent $4,000 on this S4, you would have to get a dealer's license, or you can go through a broker that will do it for you, and they charge a $200 to $300 fee. Not a problem. That's what I do. I use my buddy's dealer's license to be able to bid on them. I pay him a fee. He transfers the title to my name. I register it, and then I sell it. Not a problem at all. You can, in the state of North Carolina, do fast titles, in case some people are going to be wondering. What is a fast title? Fast title means when that title gets transferred to my name and I go to the DMV, you can get it done if you go to the Raleigh, which is about 2 hours from me, to that major DMV in North Carolina. They can transfer the title to my name while I'm there. So I can literally post this thing up for sale the next day if I want to, or the same day, because the title is already in my hands. So the process to be able to flip these cars, Super simple. Now, how do I find the right car? How do I know if I'm getting a good deal or not? Let me show you. So you just joined Copart, right? You're on the website, you are ecstatic, you're happy, you have $1,000, let's say $2,000 to spend on your next vehicle, and you are super stoked to get started. Number one rule, you have to have a preference or know what you're doing or what you're looking at or what you're gonna grab. You can't just log in there and start getting addicted, which I've done sometimes, and just basically blind purchases without paying attention to what you're buying. In my case, I'm an Audi guy, right? We have the S4 that we just fixed. I have an R8, which that one did come from a dealership. It's nice average title, but I've had A4 Avants, I've had R7s, R6s, I've messed with all kinds of Audis. So when I was doing this challenge, I knew in order to play it safe, especially when you're talking about cheaper cars that are $1,000 to $2,000, you can really lose your butt, because if you buy a cheap car, the value on the car, like I just showed you on this one, is going to be about $5,000, maybe $6,000. But if I buy that car and it's got a bad motor and it cost me $2-3 grand to replace on top of purchasing the car, there goes all the profit. So you have to kind of know what you're doing. And what do I mean by that? Let's say that you are a Toyota guy, right? You've had Toyota Camrys, Toyota Corollas. I'm thinking of cheaper cars if possible. Mustangs, older Mustangs. If you had, I don't know, some sort of Honda Accords, those are always easier to flip because, well, even high mileage on the Toyota and Honda does not matter. Nissans are okay. They do have a CVT transmission problem, but usually you can find those dirt cheap, swap them out. Depending on the year, swap them out and then make quite a bit of profit as well. But you have to know what you're doing. So in my case, I'm an Audi guy. Now let's say you're not very mechanically inclined, but you do want to learn. That is why the $1,000, the $2,000 is not much of a risk. But if you know what you're doing, or if you make the right choices and you listen to this video, you can definitely make some money. So if you're not mechanically inclined, you probably have buddies that work on cars. I don't care if they do brakes. I don't care if they just do oil changes and stuff like that. Just ask around, see what they preference, see what they work on, and see if they'll be able to help you and contribute in learning about the cars. It'll be an awesome process for both of you guys. But like I said, with that $1,000, $2,000, it's not a big risk. It's not a lot of money. You can always literally drop it off at a junkyard if you wanted to with the title and be able to get something for the metal and for the scrap, you know? So you're not gonna lose a lot of money doing it this way, but it's a good way to learn instead of buying a $20,000 car from auction and being completely screwed because the frame is messed up and everything else, and it's gonna cost you $25,000 to repair. You gotta keep one thing in mind. Most cars, when they make it to auction, is because they have, according to insurance or the body shop, up to 50 to 75% worth of damage of what the value is. They totaled the car out, which means they're like, hey, we're not gonna mess with it. There's no point of us fixing it, plus paying diminished value on top of it. We're just gonna pay the client off or the customer off and just sell it at auction and try to recoup our money. Sometimes those body shops are completely just out of their world, out of their mind. I don't know where they get the pricing from, or the insurance adjusters the same way. Sometimes it just takes too long to get the parts in. Audi prices, I had no idea how stupid expensive Audi parts are. This is a 13 Audi and the front bumper at a junkyard was like $500. So I had to track down just a person selling on Facebook Marketplace and got it for $150. Yeah, I drove 2 hours to get it, but I saved $300. Now, when you're buying these cheap cars, like I said, you can really lose your butt on them. So you have to be careful and really pay attention to the photos, because sometimes they hide hidden damages. Sometimes you can find information without really other people noticing it, and that will save you from making a bad decision or making the right decision, because they could be listed as, for example, run and drive, and it's not, or vice versa. It says it's not a run and drive, but in the photo, the RPMs are up, which means obviously the car is running, which is a big plus. So this is Copart, guys. This is the page I'm looking at right now for the car that we just bought, our bad boy, which is a 2009 Audi A4 Premium Plus. As you can tell, we did buy it for $350. I literally clicked bid once and nobody bid after me, so I got extremely lucky that nobody was in that lane, because it was one of the first few cars I was playing. Also, a smart thing to do is to get in early or stay late, because most people will be done bidding about halfway through, 3/4 of the way through, and whatever cars are left over, you can usually get a good deal because, well, they already bought what they were looking for, or they already bought the cars they needed. So this one has 187,000 miles. It says undercarriage damage, which, as you can tell on this passenger side, is what we're going to be facing or looking at. There is obviously some sort of damage because this wheel is pointed towards us and the other wheel is pointed the other way. So obviously something bent, tie rod, I don't know, control arm. We'll have to look at that once it gets in here, and that's what we're taking the trailer. But the interior for 187,000 miles else is beautiful. It is spotless, and that is why I clicked on this car, guys. You have to pay attention to things like that. Everything looked good on here. There is a little bit of damage on that passenger side rear door. Front one was going to have to replace, obviously, in the fender, but the interiors will blew me away, because usually this is ripped, especially with leather on the Audis. This stuff is hanging off, like the plastic panels. The navigation screen wouldn't be working, it'll be cracked, but everything looks like it's working condition. It says it's a run and drive car, but obviously it's not on in this photo. But I'm not seeing a lot of warning lights or anything like that. I do see the ABS and ESP, which is electronic stability something, but obviously we got a suspension issue there, so we'll have to fix it. Now, this is the most important photo for me in this case, and that is because I am looking at the front end of the car, right? We know the damage is on the passenger side, but since I have an S4 right here that I just fixed, I knew that if I went for an A4 or another S4, I knew exactly what I'm doing and looking at, because I just replaced the front end on this car, and I can tell by the photos where the radiator support is supposed to line up, or the headlight's supposed to line up, so that way I know how serious this damage actually is. And in case like this, if you can look at the photo, the radiator support is not cracked. The headlight, obviously we need to replace because it's missing, but I don't see it broken on top. So there is no upper damage, which is a big plus, because I don't want to get into replacing another radiator support, honestly. So that means everything we're going to be looking at is going to be in this corner here, which there is some coolants and vacuum pump and stuff like that. So let's say you found the car that you want to bid on, right? You are excited. This is the one. So I like to bid on pure sale cars, because whatever I bought it for, that is the price I'm going to be paying for it. Now, another cool thing about Copart is it shows you the pre-accident value, which in this case was $5,500 is what it's showing, approximate value of it. We know that to be true because NADA is showing $4,000, $6,000 depending on condition. Because the interior is clean, like I said, I really think we could get like maybe $5,500 for it. It's got wood grain in there as well, so a lot of good options. It's a beautiful car, white on white, so people love that as well. Don't get carried away, guys. Don't get sucked into a bidding war with somebody else. You have to know what your cutoff point is. Mine was $500, and the reason for that is if you bought it for $350, like I said, that doesn't mean that's the price. There is more attached to it, like fees and stuff like that. That's why I'm paying literally almost $600 for the car out the door, because, well, when you add that in, that's almost double what I bought it for. And on top of that, if you're paying for shipping as well, like in this case, it's coming from Raleigh, so I want to pick it up myself. But let's say I was to pay for somebody else to go get it, so $288.06 estimate would show approximately $420 on top of $600. So now the car is $1,000, even though I want it for $350. So that's why I try to bid, especially on cheaper cars closer to me, so I can actually go pick them up myself. Hopefully on the way back home, I can find parts already that people are selling and I can grab them. So that trip is worthwhile. And by the time I make it back to Asheville, I already have everything I need, or most of them, to go ahead and fix the car. So you made your Copart account, you logged in, you got the broker information, you bid on the car, you won the car. What's next? What do you do? Well, obviously you will send a wire transfer, or whatever the broker will tell you to do, to send them the money, and they'll pay the car off, and then you'll get the notification that the car is paid and is ready for pickup. You have 3 business days to get that bad boy. Now after 3 business days, you start racking up storage fees. So the first day is $5, then I think it's $10, then $25. So you want to pick it up within a week if possible. That's why also some people don't bid at the end of the week, because, well, technically you're going to be short on time to figure out where you're going to get the car on Monday or Tuesday without starting to accrue storage fee. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is right at 8:15 in the morning. We are 39 minutes away from Dunn City, or Dunn, North Carolina, Copart. We got our 20-foot trailer hooked up to this truck, and we are about 39 minutes away from there. So one thing I wanted to reiterate from yesterday, one thing that I said that I hope I didn't kind of throw people off. Let me put it to you this way. If you know what the joke means about a 10mm socket being worth to a car guy more than gold, you're fine. You're fine. You know exactly what I'm talking about, because I wish I had 100 of those 10mm, because I lose them all the time and it is extremely annoying. But yeah, so if you know what that joke means, you're fine. And I wanted to add a little bit more about how to make the right decision, especially when you're buying these cheaper cars that are, you know, a few $1,000s, because you can really lose your butt if you make the wrong choice. So to add on to the looking at the Copart photos and, you know, kind of paying attention to details, paying attention to dents that you see, because everything adds up, right? I don't know if you know this, but to repaint one panel on the car on average costs $250 to $300 at a body shop. That can add up real quick whenever you're doing these cheaper few $1,000 cars, because you paint the bumper, a fender, and maybe a hood, and you're $750 into the repairs, if not close to $1,000. There goes all your profit. So you got to be really careful whenever you're picking and choosing what car to get, and making sure those parts are readily available on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, wherever you're looking to buy those parts. Here is two more things that I want you guys to do on every vehicle that you're about to purchase, or you're thinking about purchasing, you're getting serious about purchasing. Number one is take that VIN number on that Copart listing, plug it into Google, and click images. Why do that? Well, we all know once you put something on the internet, it never goes away. It's there forever. Same thing goes with cars, right? So if you put the VIN number in there and click search, it will show you if that car was ever bid on or on Copart or IAI before, because once the VIN gets put in, it'll pop up all the old previous photos, if there is any, of the listing that it had before. Or you can even see when it was sold as a new car or when it was at a dealership, because obviously they'll also have photos and VIN number posted on their website when they were selling the car. So you can actually get a pretty good understanding and history of a car just by doing it that way. Now, the number two and the most important one is Carfax. I obviously showed you guys Carfax on this A4 already because I was able to pull it. It costs about $40 to pull one, or you could buy 3 for $60 or 5 for like $100, right? It's extremely important to get a Carfax. I don't care how much that car is. It's always good. That $40 goes a long way because you can see the whole history of the car, from the moment it was purchased as brand new car, what state it was in, sometimes what dealership it was at, to all the service records, to even sometimes it shows if it was an accident, what kind of an accident. It'll show you, hey, this vehicle hit a deer, this vehicle was towed, this vehicle had airbags deployed, and then you look at the listing photos and the airbags are not deployed, which means somebody tried fixing the car before. Now guys, let's be honest here, no matter what kind of a used vehicle you're buying, it's a risk, right? Even if you're buying it from an individual, you don't know if that motor's blown and it's eating coolant or it needs new brakes. Sellers aren't always going to tell you the full truth. That's just the complete honesty of it. Or whenever you're buying a Copart car at auction, you just don't know how that car was, you know, damaged and what could be hiding under that hood that's closed and for some reason you can't open it. Or you just don't know if that car was at auction before and somebody did some minor repairs, put a bumper on it, made it look like it wasn't as damaged before. You get the car and the thing, you take the bumper off and the frame is destroyed, everything underneath, the motor's cracked. You just don't know. But paying attention and doing as much research ahead of time is extremely important. Now, I will tell you one little secret that I don't think a lot of people know about. The same Carfax website where you can pull Carfax history, you can create a free login information, a free account, and you can plug in your vehicles in there with a VIN number or a license plate and keep up with all your service records and histories. That's why when this one has 15 pages worth of stuff, it makes me feel confident, even though it's got 184,000 miles, that this car was obviously taken care of, because the guy did even small repairs and small replacements. Obviously everything that was recommended, he did. Now the trick to that is you can also plug in any VIN number into that app or that account, and you can pull most of the history, about 80% that you see on the Carfax report, on that application or in that account. So when we put the A4 VIN number in there, I was able to actually see that, hey, this thing had the serpentine belts done, it had the brakes done recently, had the oil changes done by the date, not by the mileage. So I seen most of that history without even pulling the Carfax, but I just went the extra step to protect myself. But a lot of people don't know about that. It's a really good tool if you want to spend $40 on a $350 purchase that you're about to make. All right guys, we have made it. We've parked. We've actually already went inside and checked in, and now we're just waiting for the big loaders to bring our car out. Now the way you do the process is you scan the barcode in there, they ask for a gate pin, which you have access to once you purchase the car, and you get in line. And we already have our title as well, guys. Looks like it's a salvage certificate of title from North Carolina. So there it is. It says salvage rebuilt, obviously. I don't know if you're able to tell enough, this camera will focus, but basically salvage title, it is what it is. We knew about that. It's not a surprise to us. So now we just wait to load the bad boy up. As you can tell, there's a lot going on, man. There's the big rigs over there picking up like 5 to 8 cars. You just got rollback trucks, and then you have people like us with, you know, just a little trailer. Like this one's got a 1-car hauler and he's ready to roll. Some people even got just a dolly. Now there's other ones that try some crazy stuff, like, I don't know if you can tell right there, they picked up a white van that's got some front end damage. They picked up a blue blue Tundra. Now what they're going to do is with their transporter plates, they will actually hook up the Tundra to the van and tow it that way. Sometimes I've seen it as long as 3 cars in a convoy like that, and it's not on the trailer. They literally use these attachments and they tow 3 cars in a row like that. It is wild, but you know, if there's a will, there's a way, and there's my Audi. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy on the trailer. Look at that bad boy right there, guys. She is so pretty. Oh, poor baby had a small accident. It's okay, we're gonna fix you right up. As you can tell, the wheels are definitely facing the wrong ways, but that's totally fine. Look how massive those forks are that they load him up with. So let's see how good he is. They are professionals at this. Hopefully it doesn't damage my rear bumper doing it, because that's the important part. There's something else hanging underneath. I'm guessing just kind of like a tray of some sort under there, but see if you can get this bad boy on here. Nice. Just a little bit more forward. Awesome. Look at that bad boy there. As you can tell, wheels are definitely a little crooked. So it is what it is. But as long as it's on the trailer, that's all that matters. Look at it. So we do have a little bit of damage there. A little more on the door than I thought, but that's definitely fixable. We can get that painted, if not even buffed out for the most part. Oh my goodness. Yep, we knew about the door. Mirror looks good, which is important. Fender, but that's not a problem there. A little bit of pushed in here, but we should be fine, guys. Making sure, nope, the hood is loose, so we got to make sure we strap that down. Headlight, we knew about. The bumper reinforcement is not bad, and I think the radiator, oh my god, the radiator support is good, guys. This damage is a lot less than I thought. All right, guys, let's strap this bad boy down and get out of the yard because other trucks need to get in. But look at this. $350 got us a 2009 Audi A4. That is a beautiful, beautiful car. Oh, the doors don't open. Oh no, how am I gonna get in? Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, we'll figure that part out when we get home. Ladies and gentlemen, it is actually the next day. Why did it take so long to get home? Well, because I don't waste a trip, no matter what I do or where I go. So I knew I was going to pick up the car, obviously, yesterday. So I contacted a few people on Facebook Marketplace. I called a few junkyards, and I actually got about 80% of the parts in the bed of this truck already. And we're almost ready to start taking that car apart and putting the new parts on. The junkyard I went to, I got a stupid deal on most of the parts that I needed. In fact, I probably should have got more parts, but I didn't know what the pricing would be until I actually was leaving, and the guy blew my mind that I actually paid him like 30 bucks extra, because I couldn't believe he gave those parts pretty much away to me. So, but let's go ahead and take a look at this Audi real quick and see what the damage actually is and how bad is it, because honestly I didn't get a good chance yesterday. I loaded up on the trailer and I headed straight out of the Copart auction, then I went to the junkyard, so there wasn't much time to really focus on the car. Now, one thing I am so relieved to tell you, you see this right here, and underneath looks like it's so like mangled up and destroyed. I was worried, I'll be honest. Whenever I was recording that video at the Copart yard, I was like, dude, we got some frame damage. I am so royally screwed. Well, turns out when I went to the junkyard, that's normal. The way it folds in there, that is the weirdest and ugliest design. I'm guessing the adjuster that came out looked at it, was like, oh my god, this car is totaled. It's got a bent frame and everything like that. But looking at these lines and everything on the doors, the way the hood closes, I'm telling you guys, there isn't any frame damage at all. In fact, we got extremely lucky. None of this is even bent out or anything. The strut support looks like it's sitting good. The bolts aren't mangled or pushed out or broken or anything. So it looks like it's mostly just suspension damage. I'm going to stick you guys in here so you get an idea. Obviously the tie rod, not only the tie rod is bent, but it broke off the hub itself. So we're going to need to get a new hub. The spindle is obviously thing bent as well up there. The upper control arms, and of course the strut is mangled also. So I did find a really good deal on the whole assembly itself, which makes it super easy because we'll just swap it out and we should be good to go. Over here, obviously we got a broken headlight, the bracket that holds the headlight. What I'm really happy about is this is a plastic radiator support. It's like plastic / metal. It is not cracked or broken here. It is not cracked or broken up here. Intercooler piping, everything is good. Like, it literally just somehow missed it and just smacked the car right through here somehow. I don't know what they hit or what kind of corner. It might have been, I don't know, I don't want to say a deer, but these lines right here are just kind of weird. Maybe they just somebody T-boned them or something like that. Obviously we need a new door. This one can be fixed. We'll buff out those black marks and that little dent. I'm not worried about it. It should be fine. It opens perfectly, it closes good. You always want to pay attention to the body lines, guys, to make sure that there's no frame damage. So whenever you're even looking at the photos, it's best to look up here as well to see that there's no flow or dents or anything or movement of the A-pillar itself, but all the body lines are good. Well obviously we need a new fender. The bumper radiator support is good, or reinforcement, whatever you want to call it. This side, everything is good. Like literally, look at the body lines. Nothing moved. The frame looks good. Watch what happens when I close the hood itself. Look how spot on those are. Now obviously I didn't close it all the way, but even with this you can tell it's going to be perfect spot on here, so I'm not too worried about it. We should be fine. Now let's go take a look inside the car as well, because well obviously we haven't been in there, and I did get lucky because oh my god, it opens. So that's a good sign there. It looks like we actually have our bumper in the back, but most of the stuff is missing minus the grill, but I got all that already, so I'm not worried about it. I was trying to figure out what this is, but it looks like they literally tore off someone else's bumper and it was stuck under the car, because I was like, what kind of a black panel could be under there? But definitely not mine, so that's a good thing. I feel a little better. No damage here. There is a little bit of damage here, but I think that's actually from the tire marks from the tire that they have on the loader. Whenever they pick them up and the side the forks under, there is a tire that sits on the back of the forks to kind of prevent it hitting metal on metal or anything like that, but that definitely looks like just marks that should be able to buff out. Little cracks in the bumper paint, but I'm not too worried about it. They'll buff out as well. I'm guessing we have no power whatsoever, so let's go ahead and hop in here and see what we got going on. I wonder if we got power. I'm guessing since the trunk doesn't open, we don't have power. All right, somebody was definitely a little short. Let's stick the key in there. Nope, we got nothing. All right, so let me put my jumper pack on here, guys, and see what we can do with it. Interior is in good condition, honestly. I'm not seeing much dirt on here. Little scraping here, like a peeling of the clear coat, which is normal. And that's under the tray piece. Whatever this black piece is, I have no idea. But quite honestly, for 180,000 miles, man, I'm not too upset right now. I think it's gonna be a good little flipper for us, honestly. As long as everything works, as long as the sunroof works, obviously, and everything like that. Back seats are in good condition. The thing about tan color or white color interior, you can see all the black marks and stuff like that. So we're definitely gonna need a good full detail to get this car looking spotless, looking good. Ooh, we got a spark. That's a good sign. Let's see what happens, guys. Come with me real quick and let's take a look at what is going on here. All right, do we have, oh, we got the light, we got the ding, all the normal Audi sounds, and push. Let's go, boys. Wow, it actually sounds pretty good. ESP ABS fault, obviously, because, well, we know what's going on. All right, calm down, calm down. We know what's going on with it. I mean, it's definitely got a suspension issue that we got to fix. Parking brake malfunction. Yes, I know. We need a whole new front right side, passenger side. Check engine light is on, probably for some sensor that's unhooked or something like that, like the speed sensor or something. But, dude, this car sounds good. What? No way. Listen to that idle. Wow. Oh my goodness, I think we are set, guys. See, that's what happens when you do as much research as possible, and we might have just sniped ourselves a $350 run and drive car. This is crazy. Is it smoking out the back? What? No smoke whatsoever? Does it sound good? Yeah. Oh my goodness, guys. All right, let's open the trunk, see if the, nope. Trunk doesn't open. That's weird. That's really weird. Could be unplugged, could be broken, who knows. Usually sometimes they have like the spare spot where you can put a key in and just open it manually, but I'm not seeing it. All right, now I'm going to turn it off because obviously we don't know if all the coolants are there. I haven't really got a chance to look at it, but I didn't get a low coolant light or anything. So, boys, we just sniped ourselves a heck of a deal. $350. Worst case scenario, let's say it is frame damage. I mean, it's going to cost maybe $1,000 to pull a frame if we have to. Or let's say like the motor all of a sudden decides to goes. I can scrap this thing for like $1,000 easily. I can port it out for like $3 grand. Guys, if you're just as excited as I am about this bad boy right here, about this 2009 Audi A4, click that subscribe button. I am telling you, you're gonna enjoy this content. Next video you're gonna see is us gonna be hopefully already taking the parts off, putting the new parts on, registering the car hopefully, and maybe even selling it. Who knows? This $5,000, $4,000 car becomes an $8,000 or $10,000 car, and then the $10,000 becomes a $30,000, and that's how we'll get up to a $200,000 car. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy your lives, enjoy your cars, and this right here is gonna be a bad boy, and we're gonna make a lot of money in it. So I will see you in the next episode. Peace.